I got the call one morning at 2:30. My brother died. I had to go to work. I was on the air at 6 a.m. You know, show business is a tough business because I have the same life you have. You know, because you're famous doesn't preclude you from life. You know, I have some rough ass mornings, man. But I have to wake up and be a morning man. Let me see what got. I'm gonna tell you this fast story, right? When I was young, I got laid off from Ford Motor Company. I used to sell Amway products. And I had this distributor named John Walker from Rochester, New York. And, you know, I was young. I was 20, 21 years old. And I used to just sleep, man. And every morning, this distributor would call me at 5:30 every morning. And the phone would go, bring. I said, hello. Hey, Steve, John Walker, how you doing, man? Have a great day, man. This is gonna be a great day. Click, and he hang up. The next morning, 5:30, bring. Hello. Hey, Steve, John Walker, how you doing, man? Gonna be a great day, man. Have the best day of your life today. Click. Every day for 2 weeks straight at 5:30 without fail, he called me. I was furious, man. And then after a while, I said, I ain't gonna be mad. I'll just answer the phone. Hello. Hey, Steve, John Walker, how you doing, man? Gonna be a great day. Had the greatest day of your life. Click. And he hang up the phone. I said, man, what the is wrong with this guy? The next morning, I picked up the phone. I said, hello. He said, hey, man, why do you answer the phone like that? I said, what you mean? He said, why do you answer the phone like that every single morning? I said, because I'm asleep. He said, hey, man, let me ask you something. Are you where you want to be in life? I said, well, no, not yet. He said, you're going to get there sleep? You're going to get there not being glad to wake up in the morning? He said, man, I'm really disappointed in you. I thought you were better than that. Click, and he hung up. Let me tell you something. That day, I was so mad, man. Because here's another man who thought more of me than I thought of myself. He saw more in me than I saw. Oh, man, I was up that whole day. Little did I know that there was a plan for me. And after that time, I transformed into a morning person. I wake up every morning. All of my employees will tell you. They get texts from me at 4, 4:30, 5:45, whenever I wake up. I text them all with things I think, because I wake up to pray and meditate every morning. I became a morning person. Today, since the year 2000, 21 years to this day, I have been the #1 morning drive radio personality of adult contemporary radio in the United States. No one has a larger radio listening audience for adult contemporary than Steve Harvey. I talk to 9.5 million people every morning on 112 radio stations because I learned to become a morning person. God saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, and he sent this guy named John Walker to bring it out of me. And do you know, every morning that's how I wake up? Go cut your radio on at 5 in the morning if you're in Central, or 6 a.m. here. Find Steve Harvey Morning Show on the iHeartRadio app. Watch how I start that show. For the first 12 minutes of every show, I give honor to God for 12 straight minutes. Oh, the radio station had a big problem with that. You got to start playing music. You can't talk about God for 12 minutes. I said, no, you don't understand. I made a promise. When I was homeless, I told God, if you let me make it, when I get there, I'm going to tell everybody it was you. So he let me make it. So for 12 minutes, I tell everybody it's him. They can't stop me. They can't do nothing about it. But when you put him first, though, you ain't got to be a perfect Christian, because I ain't. But if you put him first, though, he'll take you places you ain't never thought you could go. No matter how your day going, just remember, this too shall pass. So if it's going funky for you, hang on. It's going to go get to going good for you. Laughter. Laughter's the key, man. If you want to stay young, all you got to do is laugh more. When you laugh, it releases endorphins in your body. It makes you feel better. Happy people look younger. You ever seen a sour person? They age quickly, man. A sour... She seemed like a nice lady, though. Sour people. You ever seen people who they have their mouth is downturned because they always angry? That's not a happy person. They get sick too. They stay sick a lot. Hate is cancer, man. Hate is cancer. You got 24 hours in a day. You'd be stunned at what you can accomplish in 24 hours a day if you just stop sleeping. Now, I'm not gonna get into that no more because I got ate up on the internet when I said if you wanna be really, really successful, you can't sleep 8 hours a day. Oh, Steve Harvey prefers wealth over health. No, that ain't what the I said. If you want to be rich in this country, you can't sleep 8 hours. Now, you don't have to be rich to be happy. I didn't say that. I know a lot of people are not rich, they're extremely happy, very talented, living in a God-given gift and doing what God created them to do. That's not what I'm saying. But if you think you can get rich in the United States of America and you're gonna sleep 8 hours a day, which is a third of your life, good luck, watch. Watch. I bet you can't. Then tell me, Oprah gets 8 hours of sleep. Oprah ain't rich, Oprah wealthy. There's a difference. Oprah got money making money for her. She got $1 billion, she ain't gotta stay up. People, man, you know, man, when you try to help people and they don't want it, that's rough, man. When I was young, I got laid off from Ford Motor Company. I used to sell Amway products. And I had this distributor named John Walker from Rochester, New York. And I was young, I was 20, 21 years old. And I used to just sleep, man. And every morning, this distributor would call me at 5:30 every morning. And the phone would go, bring. I said, hello. Hey, Steve, John Walker, how you doing, man? Have a great day, man. This is gonna be a great day. Click, and he hang up. The next morning, 5:30, bring. Hello. Hey, Steve, John Walker, how you doing, man? Gonna be a great day, man. Have the best day of your life today. Click. Every day for 2 weeks straight at 5:30 without fail, he called me. I was furious, man. And then after a while, I said, it, I ain't gonna be mad. I'll just answer the phone. Hello. Hey, Steve, John Walker, how you doing, man? Gonna be a great day. Had the greatest day of your life. Click. And he hang up the phone. I said, man, what the is wrong with this guy? The next morning, I picked up the phone. I said, hello. He said, hey, man, why do you answer the phone like that? I said, what you mean? He said, why do you answer the phone like that every single morning? I said, because I'm asleep. He said, hey, man, let me ask you something. Are you where you want to be in life? I said, well, no, not yet. He said, you're going to get there asleep? You're going to get there not being glad to wake up in the morning? He said, man, I'm really disappointed in you. I thought you were better than that. Click, and he hung up. Let me tell you something. That day, I was so mad, man, because here's another man who thought more of me than I thought of myself. I went to college off of a scholarship, so I got down there, my 3 roommates were all white. 2 of them had never spoken to a black person before. I mean, it was amazing. And they said, well, you grew up in an all-black neighborhood. I said, yeah, I never went to school with whites. I said, but I've talked to whites. I got teachers, jobs, and I watch TV. Y'all have never talked to a black person? Well, get ready. And I taught them boys so much. See, I went to college in '74, man. That was before busing and all that. I went on a Cleveland scholarship, which was an affirmative action program because black students stopped going to Kent State because of the shooting in 1970, 4 dead in Ohio. So when the blacks were in school, they heard the National Guards were coming, so all the black students said, we got to go home, because they already know. if they down there, they gonna get killed. So all the black students left and just never returned. So they did a big movement to get black students back. So I went to college off of a scholarship. So I got down there, my 3 roommates were all white. 2 of them had never spoken to a black person before. I mean, it was amazing. And they said, well, you grew up in an all-black neighborhood. I said, yeah, I never went to school with whites. I said, but I've talked to whites. You know, I got teachers, jobs, and I watch TV. Y'all have never talked to a black person? Well, get ready. And I taught them boys so much. And I thought we were going along cool until 2 weeks. You know, in 2 weeks, you can get room changes in college. I was walking in my dorm, and I was walking past room change, and all my roommates was in line, but I didn't know what the line was. So I walked through and I said, hey, man, what y'all in line for? They put their heads down, and they was all changing rooms. So I asked my roommate why he was changing room. His father told him, you're not staying with a black person. So he left. Me and this guy are the best of friends today. Because after I flunked out of school, he went on to become a lawyer. I was downtown Cleveland one time and I got in a legal situation and I ran up into him. And he said, man, my dad was an man. I always thought you were a cool guy. We remained friends while we were in school. And he became my lawyer and I hired him and he works for me. He works for me now. College roommate, because he was just a cool dude. So, you know, and I mean, look you don't want your roommate living with me. I turned out pretty good, you know what I'm saying? But I was smart enough not to hold it against his kid, you know. His kid was a good dude, man. And to this day, we're friends. A really, really cool guy. He's smart as hell. He's a great lawyer, man. We do a lot of deals together and so it worked out pretty cool for us. But them other 2, his father, man. I don't know who he thought he was talking to. He came in the room one day, he said, hey, I don't like you living with my son. And I fought Golden Gloves for 5 years, so your old ass whooping my ass is like not going to happen. But the kids were really cool guys, man. That's why, you know, if we all do this together, we could work through this. We just got to get rid of them that ain't willing to work. We could really get along. It's far more spiritual than America. I'm telling you that right now. You all are very strong with your faiths. Whether you're Muslim, Christian, Jewish, you are very strong in your faith. Stronger than America, I will tell you that. So since you're a spiritual person, let me tell you something that will help you understand that scripture. Albert Einstein said imagination is everything, it's the preview to life's coming attraction. He took that from the Bible. That's actually a scripture that you have all heard, but it was never explained to you. So here's the explanation. First part of the scripture that you've all heard is faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Why is faith so important? Because it's the substance of things hoped for. See, faith really is just hard hoping. If you hope hard enough, that's really faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. If you can just keep hope alive, you can make it. Because if you keep hoping, it is really faith. You just got to transpose it into I hope this happened to I believe this can happen. Now, here's the second half of that scripture. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Listen to me. This is the part you have to get. The evidence of things not seen. Your imagination is the evidence of things not seen. You know why they say it's not seen? Because your imagination, you are the only one who can see it. So what does that mean? Your imagination is God showing you a preview of a coming attraction he has for you. See, boy, let me tell you something. This is a real good thing if you can grab this now. So you know what that means? All that stuff you've ever imagined, It's just been God showing you a preview of a coming attraction he has for you. All this stuff. Your imagination ain't no hocus pocus. This ain't just you coming up with these wild and random thoughts. Nah, man. Where you think your imagination come from? God shows you a preview of something he has for you. My biggest influence, my father was very funny. I used to love listening to him tell jokes when he was barbecuing. But the guy for me was Richard Pryor. That was the guy. It was just nobody. He was just with a microphone. It's a hard business, man. You got a mic stand, a spotlight, a bar stool, and a glass of water. That's my office. And I turned it into by the grace of God, I turned it into a massive career. That was one of the best things I ever did in my life. I took a chance. I just jumped. I tell everybody, at one point in your life, you're gonna have to jump. You just gotta go. You gotta go. You cannot play it safe your whole life. You know, ships are safe when they're in port, right? A ship is safe in port, but that ain't what ships is built for. You're built to sail. You're built to be in rough water. You're built to go far away places. You are not built to stay in port. If your job is your port, now if it's the job of your dreams, that's one thing, but if you don't like your job, you just staying in port because it's safe, you're not built for that. You're a ship. You're built to sail. You're built for troubled waters. You just need God on the boat with you. That's all you need. And you go on about your business and live your life and be free. You know, that's the thing. You have to take chances, man. If you play it safe, it's not a good life. Safe is not a good life. You got to take risk, man. You got to get out there and get treacherous. And eventually God, he smooths the water out for you. You make a little bit of money, you'll be all right, you know. But before you die, you should take a chance. Before you leave this world, you should take a chance. This life I have, this ain't really the way it's supposed to go. This is an exceptional gift from God. This is an amazing amount of grace and favor he done gave me. So, I mean, why not? I can't take credit for none of this. I really can't. I mean, look, I work hard, but really, everybody work hard. This is favor, man. God just did me a real solid. This a lot of favor, man. He just let a dream come true, man. He just allowed me for a dream to come true. Now, faith without works is dead. You got to work. I do work extremely hard, but that don't mean I'm supposed to be this. You know what I mean? Like, people always say, man, did you always see this happening? No. How could I saw this happening? I didn't even know this existed. I had no concept of this. All I really wanted, man, after I got started, I just wanted to be one of the premier stand-ups in the country. When the Kings of Comedy came out, I was good. I thought I had arrived. I said, man, thank you, Lord, that's it. I had no idea what he was really gonna do to me. I had no idea what he'd do for me. First of all, Marjorie and I have never used the term step, ever. These are the children, that's it. Once you introduce the word step, you got people feeling different. That's the first thing we did, no stepchildren. That's it, I'm not your stepdad. And look, it's like this, Marjorie and I made it perfectly clear. We love each other. This is the family structure with love in it. We invite everybody in. It was a struggle, especially with the older children. It was a struggle. Because, you know, people, they set in their ways, and then you got the other parties creating division when you're not around. So we went through all of that, but it was not easy. But, you know, my kids, they went bowling when they met for the first time. Marjorie's kids and my kids, they went bowling, and they came back, and all the girls told us they didn't think we should get married, and we should wait a while. I just walked out the room. I'm not even talking, y'all stupid. Marjorie sat there and talked with them for hours about I'm through, I ain't got them time. I didn't ask y'all. And so we just made it perfectly clear. This is the union, this is the love, and we invite you in. When y'all catch up to that, come on and let us know. But you're not affecting anything. And so Marjorie and I, we form a two-handed circle. We make our decisions, and we told the kids what the decision was, and that was it. Our children don't vote. You don't vote. This is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship. No, you don't vote. The you vote, and you don't know. How are my kids gonna tell me how to live my life? So once they understood that, eventually it took years for them to get all right. They went through their little positioning and everything, but we just kept saying this is the way it is, and now, they can all get together. They bring the kids over. They all love each other. The kids are cousins. Everybody got it together now. It took a little bit of work, but the first things first is one family, is one child. You're the son, you're the daughter, cool, and that was it. The older kids, my twins, they're grown, they didn't have to call Marjorie mom, and that was it. But my sons always called Marjorie mom because she was there for them, getting them through school and stuff. And that was it. That was it. Marjorie's kids, period, all of them called me dad. All of them changed their name. I was really, really a good father to them, so they went out there, changed their name. They voluntarily went as teenagers, and so, if you love kids enough and show them the right way, they'll get on board. You just got to stay with it. Don't waver in your decisions. Be firm. Be the parent. Stop trying to be your kids' friends. Be the parent. They need parenting. They want friends. Go to school, make some new friends. I'm your daddy. I had another show in the making. 3 years later, I had, at one time, 7 TV shows running concurrent on the air. I had a game show. I knew that if I remained a stand-up, that I was going to lose my career. Because when you're in television and radio, you're in sponsorships. And I know as a stand-up, I'm going to say something that's going to offend somebody. And then once one sponsor pulls, all of the sponsors pull. So I had to give up stand-up to build a TV empire. Because if I stay in stand-up, I'm going to lose the TV and radio deals because, I'm going to offend somebody. Because stand-up is not, stand-up has become so politically correct, everybody's offended now. Everybody, and we're in a cancel culture society now. And so I knew that if I stayed in the stand-up, I was going to lose the talk show. I was going to lose Family Feud, Celebrity Family Feud, Little Big Shots. I would lose Showtime at the Apollo. I would use Thunderdome. I was going to lose, I had 2 more shows. I was working entirely too much, so that was the decision to retire from stand-up. But I retired in 2012. That last show, man, at the MGM Grand, when I finished that show, I sat backstage for 30 minutes. I cried like a baby because I was giving up the one thing that I said I'd never give up. I was funny, man. I was born funny. I was born to be humorous. I knew that. And so giving it up was really, really tough for me, man. It was a hard one. But, it was sort of funny because after the Kings of Comedy, I thought I had arrived. I thought I had really accomplished what I set out to be, which was one of the premier stand-ups in the country. But little did I know what God really had in store for me. And what he did for me after that was way more than I ever thought. So I have a career now it's massive. I bought the global rights to Family Feud. I do Family Feud in Africa. I own that. I do Family Feud in Africa, It's a big global empire. And it's much more than stand-up now, so. But every now and then I have moments like this. I just do me. Family Feud allows me to be funny. I just do it in shorter bursts. But Family Feud allows me to be funny, which keeps my appetite. And then sometimes, like during a commercial break, they'll tell you, they got 30, 40 minutes of me on commercial breaks. I just said, I'm doing a set. And I've had, because we used to do it in full audiences, man. We had 300 people here. And I had them goddamn people vomited. I just do a set, 40 minutes, man. I just stop and just rip them and just to show them I still got it. You can get discouraged a lot of ways, but the one surefire way to avoid discouragement. First of all, let's understand something. We're all participating in this thing called life, all of us. Life has ebb and flows, mountaintops, it's got valleys, it's got thunderstorms in it, earthquakes. This life, you stop expecting it to go smooth, because it ain't finna go smooth. The road to success is always under construction. This life ain't set up to be smooth. You combat negativity and you combat discouragement with gratitude. It's the one way to combat discouragement is with gratitude. What messes you up is you focus on the thing that's not happening, and that causes you to get discouraged. So whenever you get discouraged, you have to change your focus from what's not happening to what has happened. And it straightens you out immediately. Because what causes the downslide is if you get wrapped up into what ain't happening, it get ugly, man. And it just snowballs. But you have to focus on gratitude. People don't understand how serious gratitude is. You know, it's a serious principle of success. It's hard to be miserable and grateful at the same time. I learned this at my mother's funeral, man, which was like the roughest. That week of my life was like chaotic, man. I thought I was gonna die. My mama passed, I was 40. I didn't do good, man. I thought I was crumbling. I really, man, I didn't know what that was, man. The most important person to me was gone. I was crushed. I thought I was gonna die. And at the funeral, my mother was a Sunday school teacher for 40 years. And I'm devastated. My mother's in a casket. That's just not the picture I ever wanted to see, right? And I was struggling with her being up there. And the preacher stood up and he said, I know y'all hurting. I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters. He said, but I want y'all to look around at this church. My mama had been a Sunday school teacher for 40 years. Church was packed. It was packed. He said, the overflow room is full. He said, we've put up projector screens in the parking lot. We don't do that on Easter. We done set up projector screens in the parking lot because so many people then came to see your mother off. Said, because your mother meant something to everybody. My mama's funeral was filled with the hood, the gangsters, the pimps, the hustlers, the dope boys, the police, the politicians, church people. He started talking about, he said, look how full this church is. Look at the lives she touched. Look what she meant to so many people. We got people in this church we ain't seen in years. He said, look at this. And I want you to think of all the incredible things your mother has ever done. And then he started listing the things she had done around the church and what people had said about her. And we started smiling. And this was the first time I had smiled in a week. That week was ugly for me. And he said, now listen to this. You see the smiles on your face? He said, joy and depression cannot reside in the same space. So when you get down and you start thinking about how dark it is, I want you to remember everything your mother taught you that was good. And that replaced all the negative thoughts I was having. Because joy and depression cannot reside in the same space. Well, now, you got to take that concept and apply it to your life. If joy and depression cannot reside in the same place, when you get depressed and you get discouraged, you got to replace it with joy. And what more joyous than gratitude? What has God done for you? Didn't you wake up today? Ain't you still breathing? Don't you have some measure of health? Ain't you working? You may not have the car you want, but don't you have a car? Ain't you eating groceries today? You ain't homeless. Now, when you start tripping and you get depressed, you got to go into yourself and come up with some gratitude. Once you get grateful, you can't be discouraged and grateful at the same time. You cannot do it. That's how you combat every single time. It happened to me the other day. I woke up, I just wasn't on the right side of the bed. Went downstairs and started doing my meditation. I pull out a list of everything I'm grateful for. By the time I got to the 13th thing, I thank God for 75 things every morning. By the time I got to 13, I was fine. Because guess what? I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm healthy. I'm finna go do a job. I tell jokes. They finna pay me. Lord, they finna pay me. My grandkids is healthy. My children is healthy. They ain't calling me asking me for nothing. They did at 10, but at 8, they didn't want nothing. I just started feeling, that's how you do it. That's how you come back. I'm telling you, it works. It works.